Today on Spilled Milk, we are going to make this delectable little gem. How about a roasty, toasty onion salad? Does that sound good? What if it had roasted pistachios on it? How about some toasted breadcrumbs on there? How about some herb butter? How about a sauce made with labna and feta? A little bit of Italian chili oil, peperoncino, huh? A little bit of sherry vinegar, So first thing I want to do, this is actually a small pan. It's a French roasting pan. I got it as a set from a French pan maker. And because they have smaller ovens, their pans are smaller. Refrigerators are smaller over in Europe. I actually really like those sizes. So if you see these kinds of things on Amazon, by all means, get them. I'm just putting, I don't know, teaspoon of olive oil in there. Smear that around so that none of your caramelized onion sticks there. That's number one. Next, we want to cut our oven. Why do I say ovens? The onions are going in the ovens. Anyway, huge word fart. I'm just taking the very end off of the two different ends of the onion, and one is flat and wide, one is flat and shallow. It does not matter. And then I'm going to cut that exactly in half. Now, from there, it certainly is a lot easier to peel this onion. There's a transparent piece right there. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it and smaller side down, I'm going to place it into my baking tray. And I'm just going to continue to do that with as many onions as will fit in here. Now, I do that for two reasons. Number one, because this salad is extremely popular. But number two, I always have room in a dish for roasted onions or caramelized onions or whatever you want to, however you want to describe this dish, right? And who doesn't like a little onion sandwich? So again, I just take the two ends off and bisect this so that everything cooks the exact same amount of time, right? The point being is that they're just onions, right? These aren't lobsters. This is not some expensive ingredient. In fact, these are not even fancy onions of some type. I just ordered these on Instacart from the supermarket. Not all onions are created equal. The one kind of onion I don't use for this dish is a Vidalia onion or a sweet onion. I want one that has a lot of acidity. White onions, yellow onions, Spanish onions, right? We'll all do that. I want one that has a lot of acidity and a lot of the natural sulfuric gases that alliums like this have. And I find that Vidalia onions are just too sweet by half. So by the time you roast them, they're double sweet and they don't have that contrast in flavor. I'm gonna figure out how to make this, murmur, maybe I'll do that. This is like Tetris. It's like, Tetris for onions. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, so as awkward as that looks, there I go. I've figured out a way to do it. I've got these 8 pieces. Now we season the tops and bake them. So how do we season the tops? Just a little drizzle of olive oil, right? We got olive oil on the bottom. We're putting a little olive oil on top. I mean, this is maybe about a tablespoon and a half in total now on top of them. By using something like this with a spout, we're just putting just enough oil on there. Then I want to put my salt on there. I'm just sprinkling, this is actually some fine Mediterranean sea salt that I'm putting on here. You can use any kind of salt you like. It just happens to be what I grabbed. Pepper. Again, I just grabbed one of my pepper grinders. I can actually see the color a little bit than you can here. This is a blend of white, black, and pink peppercorns. The next thing that I want to do is I want to take some of my herb butter out of here. You know, someone asked a while ago what different types of compound butters I use. And the answer is I've got about 10 or so that I cook with pretty regularly, but none more regularly than this one. This is shallots, garlic, butter, parsley, some fiend herbs, you know, stuff like tarragon and what? Oh, sorry, Luca, none for you now. Tarragon and chives, and other goodies in there. But all I'm doing is I'm just crumbling some of these butter pieces. I'm just gonna even this out onto there. And I keep them in baggies, about a 1/4 cup portion in there in the freezer. And the reason is that sometimes I have a need for a compound butter, whether I'm making garlic bread, whether I'm seasoning chickens. And the nice thing is, as these onions roast and soften, this herby garlic butter, by the way, I also have lemon zest and lemon juice in this compound butter. As the onion softens, the butter is gonna penetrate down into the top. So this is gonna be a very, very flavorful roasted onion. And now I just wanna season these with 2 more ingredients before they get roasted. Thyme. Fresh thyme. I don't have fresh thyme in this butter mixture. And I love the flavor of onions and thyme. So I'm just going to spread, I don't know, 1 stem's worth of thyme leaves, fresh thyme leaves. By the way, fresh thyme, much different than dry thyme. There is a place for both fresh and dried herbs, but we're talking about fresh thyme here. And then the very last thing that I'm going to do is I'm just gonna take some hot honey. This is my favorite brand of hot honey, Zab's hot honey. I love Zab's hot sauce. I love everything that this company makes, but I'm just gonna put a little bit of honey on each one of these. Now we are going to season this later with a little bit of vinegar and some Calabrian chili oil. But essentially, we're just putting herby garlic honey butter on top of each one of these onion wedges. And then we're gonna bake it. And what's gonna happen is, as you can probably imagine, you probably figured it out already, these babies are gonna caramelize up in a way that only an oiled, buttered, seasoned, honey-topped onion can. And you tell me, would you eat those after they came out of the oven? Oh, I think you would. 375 degrees, right? That's what that says. Presto changeo. These onions go right into the center of the oven, and we'll let those cook until they're nice and caramelized, which should be, gosh, I don't know, about 25, 30 minutes at 375. We'll see, maybe 40 minutes, not much longer than that. So, lemon zest, orange zest, brined sheep's milk feta, just any good feta will do, and an equal amount of yogurt or labna. The yogurt, if you're gonna use it, use a Greek yogurt. Full fat, whole milk. Really does make a difference. Juice of half a lemon, a little more to taste. Just want it nice and tart to complement the sweetness of the onion that we're gonna roast. Voila. Boom. I've let these cool for about 45 minutes. They're still warm. I don't like to serve them refrigerated. I have made this dish and let the onions sit at room temperature for a couple of hours rather than refrigerate them before a dinner party. Remember our whipped labneh and feta? I just put a dollop or so of that down into the middle of the plate. And I mean, you can do several things with this. This can be more of an appetizer, kind of first course. By the way, I've done this before in a platter where I've put the sauce down in a big oval on an oval platter and then lined all the onions up and then let people take it themselves. Or take some themselves. The other thing that you can do is you can take 2 of these, which is something I'm really keen on. I have a mortar and pestle here. This is a wooden one. I use this for a lot of softer things that I don't need to grind a lot. This is a little piece of aluminum foil. I made a little tray. I put a couple of tablespoons of shelled pistachios. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just press down with this big, fat, oh, the smell of a toasted pistachio. And I don't want to annihilate this. I'm not making, pistachio butter or anything out of there. I just want those big pieces gone, but I still want pieces big enough that I'm gonna have a crunch. Do not do this while the nuts are warm. Won't work. And I'm just gonna take a spoonful like this. It's gonna have some powdery parts. It's gonna have some crunchy parts. And this is enough probably for 2. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna take a couple of olives. These are French picholines. You can use green leeks. You can use all kinds of olives. And I'm just slicing these up. It's got some nice bite to it, which is perfect with the sweet, beautiful onion. And I've got a whole bunch of little shards, and maybe what I'll do is I'll just sprinkle those. And as you see, I'm putting that mostly on the yogurt. I have some little bit of toasted breadcrumb here. I'm just gonna sprinkle on here now. You're probably saying to yourself, Andrew Zimmern, that just looks a lot of brown. Well, it is, but it's just a lot of roasty, toasty flavor. The toasted pistachios, the roasted onions. I'm just putting roasted flavor and texture, crunch, and the soft sauce and the soft olives and all the rest of that kind of stuff. I told you before, I'm gonna put a little bit of acid. This is a very nice aged sherry vinegar, and I'm just gonna dress a little bit of that. I am going to cut some parsley here. And I just need about a tablespoon of really nice, finely minced parsley. That is some nice minced parsley. And I'm just gonna throw that all over these. Delicious. And then the last thing that I'm gonna do, it's an Italian chili oil. It's made with Calabrian chilies, which are spicy, pureed with extra virgin olive oil and strained. Just the aroma of that is just absolutely spectacular. Now, I make this myself, It's, I don't know, it's just a little bit labor intensive. It's not crazy. All I do, swirl this around on top of the yogurt. And this is what it looks like. Look at how beautiful that is. I love this salad. Yes, I know you're gonna argue with me. It's not a salad. But look at that, it just slices up so beautifully. Look at those stunning onion petals. Charred on top, soft in the bottom, streaked with that herb butter, atop a bed of labneh and feta. The sweetness from the caramelized hot honey, all of the elements of that compound butter. Oh, this is just, it's one of my favorite salads in the whole world. And yeah, okay, you want to call it a vegetable side dish? Go ahead. Call it a vegetable side dish. I don't care what you call it. I want you to make it. I want you to eat it. If you have half the happiness that I have consuming this, you will be overjoyed with bliss. You won't be able to uncurl your toes.